It worked in mice. It worked in mice.
Welcome back to It Worked in Mice, the podcast where we look at the health news that makes you say, wow, that's amazing, followed immediately by, so when can I actually get it? I'm Alex.
And I'm Piper. And today, Alex, you might actually be able to get some of it. Well, some of it. Some of it is still firmly in the maybe in our grandkids' lifetime category.
My favorite category. The one where scientists cure aging in a petri dish, and I'm still stuck here trying to figure out if kale is actually good for me or just a marketing scam. So what's first on the list of things I'll never see?
Okay, Mr. Grumpy, let's start with the big one, the one that sounds like pure science fiction. Researchers have found a protein that can rejuvenate aging brain cells.
Rejuvenate? You mean like de-age them? Turn my creaky, forgetful brain back into a sharp, witty supercomputer? Because I'm pretty sure my brain is running on dial-up internet at this point.
That's the idea. It's a protein called DMTF1. As we get older, our neural stem cells, which are the guys responsible for making new brain cells for learning and memory, they get tired. They lose their ability to regenerate.
I can relate. My ability to regenerate after a late night is pretty much gone. So what does this magical protein do? Sprinkle fairy dust on them?
Sort of. The researchers found that in aged stem cells, the levels of this DMTF1 protein were really low. But when they artificially boosted the levels back up, the stem cells started acting young again. They regained their ability to self-renew.
So they topped up the protein juice and the brain factory started humming again. Where did they do this? In a 90-year-old volunteer who then went on to win a Nobel Prize?
Not exactly. They were working with human-derived neural stem cells in lab models. They were looking at cells with telomere dysfunction. Remember telomeres?
Vaguely. They're the little plastic caps on the ends of our DNA shoelaces, right? And they get shorter every time a cell divides until they're gone and the shoelace frays?
Exactly. It's a classic sign of aging, and these cells with their frayed shoelaces were struggling. But restoring this one protein seemed to reverse a lot of that struggle. It's a huge potential target for therapies to slow or even reverse cognitive decline.
Okay, I'll admit that is interesting, but it also sounds like it's about 1,000 steps away from being a pill I can pick up at the pharmacy. This is peak "it worked in mice" material. Or in this case, it worked in a dish.
But think of the implications. This isn't just about memory. It's about potentially heading off all sorts of age-related neurological issues. It's about understanding the fundamental mechanics of brain aging. It's pure hope, Alex.
It's pure, uncut, 100% Colombian hope, all right. And I'm just saying let's manage our expectations. I'll get excited when they announce human trials. Until then, I'll just keep doing my crosswords and hoping for the best.
Fine, but you have to admit it's cool. Moving on to something you can actually do tomorrow or even today, something that could slash your depression risk.
Oh, let me guess. Meditate on a mountaintop? Drink a gallon of celery juice? Adopt a gratitude journal and write down 3 things I'm thankful for every day? Number 1, coffee. Number 2, the invention of the remote control. Number 3, I'm struggling.
No, it's much simpler. A large study out of the Netherlands found that swapping just 1 hour of watching TV per day for something more active could cut the risk of developing major depression by 11%.
Just 1 hour? That's like 2 episodes of a sitcom or half a prestige drama. What do I have to swap it with? Marathon running? Extreme yoga?
Not at all. Almost anything works. Replacing that hour with sports had the biggest impact, reducing risk by 18%. But even swapping it for physical activity at work or leisure activities or even just sleeping an extra hour showed a significant benefit.
Wait, so I can sleep instead of watching TV and it's good for my mental health? Now that is a study I can get behind. I've been training for that my whole life.
The results were even more dramatic for middle-aged adults. For them, replacing 1 hour of TV dropped depression risk by nearly 19%, and replacing 2 hours dropped it by a staggering 43%.
43%? That's a lot. Why are they picking on middle-aged people? I feel personally attacked. First, my brain cells are aging, and now my TV habits are a problem.
Because that's often when lifestyles become more sedentary. It's a crucial time. The only thing that didn't really move the needle was swapping 30 minutes of TV for household chores.
I knew it. Science has proven that doing the dishes is soul-crushing. I feel so validated. So the message is get off the couch and do literally anything but chores.
Pretty much. It's not about becoming a super athlete. It's about breaking up that passive, sedentary time. It's such an empowering finding. It's a simple, free, actionable change anyone can make to protect their mental health.
I'll give you that. It's better than being told to wait for a magic brain protein. Although I still think sleeping more sounds like the most attractive option. I'm an elite-level sleeper.
Okay, all this talk about replacing TV time with activity is making me feel guilty. I need to stand up and stretch for a second. Let's practice what we preach, right?
It worked in mice. Worked in mice. That sounds real nice. Sounds real nice. Will it work for you? Let's find out what's true. It worked in mice.
Look at you, all virtuous. Did you just slash your depression risk by 5% in that 10-second break? All right, let's get back to it before you decide to run a marathon.
Feeling much better, thank you. And ready for our next topic, which brings us from the brain down to the gut. The microbiome is back in the news.
Of course it is. The gut microbiome is the new kale. It's everywhere. What are we being told to eat now? Imported volcanic soil? The tears of a happy yak?
Close. Kefir and fiber. A new study found that this specific combination was more effective at reducing inflammation than omega-3 supplements.
More effective than fish oil? The golden child of the supplement aisle? That's a bold claim. So what's the secret?
It's a symbiotic effect. That's when you combine a probiotic, which is the live beneficial bacteria, with a prebiotic, which is the food for that bacteria. In this case, the kefir provides the probiotics, and a diverse fiber mix provides the prebiotics.
So you're not just sending new workers into the factory, you're also packing them a lunch so they don't immediately quit.
That is the perfect analogy. And when those happy, well-fed microbes chow down on the fiber, they produce amazing compounds like butyrate. And butyrate is a rock star when it comes to fighting inflammation and regulating the immune system.
Butyrate. Sounds like a brand of butter substitute. So this kefir and fiber combo created more of this stuff, which then chilled out the inflammation in the body.
Exactly. In the 6-week trial, the group taking the kefir and fiber mix saw the broadest and most significant drop in inflammation-related proteins compared to groups taking just fiber alone or just omega-3s.
I'm still stuck on the fact that it beat omega-3s. People have been taking fish oil for decades thinking it's the #1 inflammation fighter.
And it is good, but this study suggests that supporting your own gut ecosystem to produce its own anti-inflammatory compounds might be an even more powerful, holistic strategy. It's not just adding one thing, it's about improving the whole system.
So the lesson is to feed the army you have instead of just hiring a few temporary mercenaries. So what kind of kefir are we talking about? The stuff in the supermarket dairy aisle?
The study used a specific brand made with goat's milk and live kefir grains, which are cultures containing dozens of different microbial species. The diversity is key, and they paired it with a broad-spectrum fiber blend.
Of course, it's a special kind. It's never just the generic stuff, is it? Still, the principle is interesting. A good reminder that what we eat has a direct and pretty immediate effect on our body's internal chemistry.
Right, and inflammation is linked to so many chronic health issues, so finding accessible, food-based ways to manage it is a huge deal. It puts the power back in your hands, or on your spoon.
On your spoon, full of fermented goat milk. Delicious. Then, sounding pensive, it does make sense though. It's all connected. The brain, the body, the gut, the TV remote. It's all one big, complicated, slightly disappointing system.
I don't think it's disappointing at all. I think it's amazing. We started with a futuristic protein that could one day rejuvenate our brains. We talked about a simple lifestyle tweak to protect our mental health. And we ended with a food combination that can calm inflammation throughout the body.
Okay, when you put it like that, it sounds vaguely inspiring. So, to recap the official "it worked in mice" advice, which is not advice, don't hold your breath for the anti-aging brain pill, but maybe turn off the TV and go for a walk, and perhaps try some weird yogurt.
That's the gist of it. And remember, these are just fascinating glimpses into what the science is discovering. It's about being informed and curious.
And skeptical. Don't forget skeptical. It's the most important ingredient. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to It Worked in Mice.
We'll be back next week with more headlines from the frontiers of health. Bye for now.
Sounds real nice. Will it